Hey there, gorgeous. Hope you're having a great day. It is such a pleasure to see you. Thank you for being here. In today's video, I'm sharing makeup mistakes that professional makeup artists tell us that add years to our look. And I am guilty of a lot of these. I have done these in the past. I have since changed the way I do things based on comments I have received, critiques I've received, and I've taken them graciously, and they have been right and correct. So I wanted to share these with you in the event that you might be doing some of them. Maybe you want to try something different. You got a new year coming up here soon. And it's a great way to try something new and different that you might not have thought about before. Just know that you're not alone, okay? I'm not sharing these tips with you to make you feel badly. I don't want anybody to feel badly about anything that they're doing, because in the end of the day, you have to do what works for you. You have to do what gives you the most confidence. I'm sharing these from a standpoint of experiential knowledge, having done many of these myself, and just in the hopes of being able to help someone out. The first one is heavy foundation. I'm so guilty of this. I used to think when I was younger that the more foundation I had on my face, the better I would look, and boy was I wrong. But this is not that great to do, because when you have heavy foundation on your face, it can settle into pores, it can settle into fine lines, it can make those things more apparent rather than diminishing them and helping to conceal things like that. So what you should do instead is to use concealer or color correctors to diminish the imperfections in the skin that you want to minimize, and then go over your skin with something like a tinted moisturizer. Because truthfully, when you can see the skin and when your makeup looks like skin, it does make your face look youthful. And I have come to discover that in my own makeup application, that a lot of people have said to me in the past year or so, "You look really great. You look like youthful. What did you do?" I just changed the way I applied my makeup. I'm not applying it as heavy. I'm not applying it as mattified as I used to. And I do think that makes a huge difference. The other thing that goes along those same lines is applying powder all over the face. Now, I'm definitely guilty of this. I grew up in the 90s, so I was around that completely mattified look. Don't get me wrong, I still love it. I do. But I have found that when you over powder your face, it does settle into lines. It does emphasize things that we do want to diminish. And instead, you can lightly apply powder only in the areas where you need it. So what I have started doing is applying it only into the T-zone, very lightly. So I'm able to set my makeup in that area because that's where I tend to get the most oily, but I can leave the rest of my skin glowy and radiant. I also do set my under eye area. I have to. If I don't, then my under eye area starts to fall apart, but that's just me. But I don't pack the powder underneath my eyes either, and I feel like that does make a difference. Now, I did make a video last week on how you can apply your powder for a more dewy, radiant finish. So if you happen to miss that video, I will have it listed and linked for you below. There was some really great techniques in that video that help to add to the radiant, youthful glow on your skin without looking like you've got a bunch of powder packed on. And the other thing they had mentioned too was powder foundation. So along those same lines, if you're using powder foundation, it can appear flat and drying to the skin. And they recommend a sheer to medium coverage liquid foundation in replacement of that. But again, like I had said, if you don't want to skip your powder foundation, let's say it works really well for you, but you want a more skin-like finish, that video that I did last week can help with some other tips on applying it so it does look more skin-like. The other tip that they shared as part of this was not applying lip liner first. Now, I am guilty of this. I don't always apply lip liner because I don't feel like I really need it. But they had made the point that using a shade deeper than your natural lip color will help to define and accentuate the lips, making them appear bigger and fuller. And it does do that. I've noticed that when I use lip liner, and I do see more emphasis on my lips having applied lip liner. So it is a great practice to put in place in your makeup routine. Not using eyeshadow primer. This is a big one. Big one. Before I got into makeup, I didn't even know about eyeshadow primer. It was like, I don't even know if I really need that. But then after I started using it, whoa, what a difference it made. And it truly does. It helps keep everything in place, and it will keep your eyeshadow from migrating, fading, it just helps to keep everything where you put it. And I love eyeshadow primer. I can't recommend it enough to anyone, especially those who are starting out in makeup, for the best possible professional looking results. Another tip, pay attention to your eyebrow pencil. If your eyebrow pencil is too dark, this can also have an aging effect. Now, I didn't think about this, but the logic behind it makes sense. One of the things I was reading is that they said that darker brows can age, but softer, lighter colors have a more youthful appearance. So if you're a brunette and you're going with darker brown colors, try changing them out for softer, lighter browns, and it will help to add some light to your face. Something to try. Along those same lines, if your eyeliner is too dark, this can also have an aging effect. And I liken this to black dresses. You know how we wear black dresses and we like to wear black because it has a very slimming effect and it makes you look skinnier than what you might be? You get it, right? Well, same can be true of your makeup. It makes things look smaller. It does. So if you're putting black on your eyes, it will make your eyes look smaller as opposed to lighter, brighter colors, which make your eyes look bigger and brighter. So it's always a good practice to use browns or neutrals as your eyeliner and keep it contained to the upper lash line for the most eye-opening effect. And then on the lower lash line, use nudes, use lighter neutrals, things that aren't going to close off your eyes. And when you're applying them, one of the tips that I learned early on when I was learning makeup years and years and years ago was to not line the entire length of your lower lash line. Instead, only line to the outer half. So right where your pupil is, in the center of your eye, you want to go from that point out. And if you keep it just on the outer half of the lower lash line, it also helps to open up your eyes. Sleeping with makeup on. Ugh. I do this. I'm so guilty. I didn't used to. I used to be like, I can't sleep with makeup on. I used to have to always remove it right before bed. But let me tell you, there are some nights when I am just so exhausted, I don't. I don't. So I do this, but it's a really bad practice to do because it can age you. It can really wreak havoc on your under eye area. I do notice that when I sleep in my makeup that I really need to moisturize my under eye area the next day. And yeah, I'm getting better about not sleeping in my makeup. But, you know, it still happens. So, I mean, if it happens, it happens. But I got 3 kids under the age of 5. I mean, whew, I need to give myself grace, you know? I fall asleep putting them to bed. That's my problem. I fall asleep and then I'm like, I ain't doing anything. I go straight to bed. That's how it happens for me. But hey, you know, to each her own. The other thing is skipping blush. Blush has such a brightening, beautiful effect on the skin, and I'll show you here in an up-close example of what my face looks like when I don't apply blush. For me, I have to because I feel like I don't look all there. I look like I need some color. I have to have some color. And if you look at Renaissance portraits specifically, look at the women and the men too, in those pictures. They always have a flush of color on their cheeks, and that's what gives them that youthful appearance. So having color on your cheeks is associated with youth because you got more blood flow when you're younger, you know, it just makes sense. So don't neglect the blush. It really does make such a difference and it can really brighten your face. Let me know what you feel like are some of the top makeup mistakes that can age your face. I would love to hear your thoughts on this topic also. And don't feel badly if you do any of these. Like I said, I do every single one. I have done every single one. I am guilty. So you're in good company. Thank you for being here, for taking the time to watch. I speak joy, love, and peace into you and to your home, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon.